Hey everybody, and welcome along to game number 4 of the Falkirk free-for-all. I'm sorry it's been a while. It's been really quite crazy with work the past couple of weeks. So since I got back, I'm been doing a lot of overtime and things. So I'm going to try and get these out. I've got a few other battle reports after this as well, and I've got another one-day tournament coming up a couple of weekends time. So I'll have those as well. This game, as you saw, is game 4 of the Falkirk free-for-all on table 2. The Dirty Dozen have entered the fray on the second day, and I'm up against Lee Martin, who has the host of the Eternity King, who's a really good player. My first time against the Eternity King MALEKITH, and this is how it goes. So on my opponent's right flank, he has a unit of Doomfire Warlocks, a unit of 5 Dark Riders. In his centre, he has a Master on a Dark Pegasus, a Frostheart Phoenix, a unit of 30 Corsairs hoarded with a BSB with the Banner of the World Dragon, another unit of 5 Warlocks with a level 1 Metal Sorceress. He has a MALEKITH himself, and out here he has a unit of Witch Elves. So you on my list, on my left flank I have my Master on Dark Pegasus, a unit of Dark Doomfire Warlocks. Over here I have another unit of Doomfire Warlocks with my Sorceress, my Cauldron of Blood with Witch Elves and Hellbrawn, a unit of Dark Riders, another unit of Dark Riders, my Executioners, and in the corner I have my 2 Bolt Throwers. And this is how it looks at the top of turn 1. This is after Vanguards, and I get to move first. So I move up like so. My Dark Rider's coming up, hoping to maybe, if I'm lucky, get out his Doomfire Warlocks and his Dark Riders and get into his back lines, as I need to try and get as many points as quickly as possible because I can't let MALEKITH get to Bear. I mean, he's very manoeuvrable, so I'm very unlikely to catch him with Hellbrawn, who's my only chance of being able to do any wounds to him, I think. So I just gradually move everything up, bring my Executioners across to line up with my Witch Elves. In the shooting phase, in the magic phase, I don't get much off, and in the shooting phase I kill off 2 Doomfire Warlocks on this side, and it's after that's into my opponent's turn 1. So my opponent starts by declaring a couple of charges. There's a unit of Doomfire Warlocks and his unit of Dark Riders, both of which go straight into one of my units of Dark Riders. Both of them make it, and probably not looking good for that unit of Dark Riders. So first points will most likely be my opponent's. Over here you can see he starts moving up. He uses the the Incarnation of Shadow ability to move that unit of Corsairs right up in front. And at this point I realised they had handbows. So they're quick to fire, 2 shots each. They can shoot an extra rank because they now have martial prowess as well, so that's 60 shots at close range, hitting on 4s, wounding in 4s. So I don't think things look good for that unit of Doomfire Warlocks in front of them. You can see everything else he just brings to bear. He runs up and is getting ready for taking me out next turn. He gets through Occam's Mind Razor onto these, and that just means I probably won't be charging them next turn either. So yeah, as expected, just the sheer weight of shots kills off the 5 Doomfire Warlocks, leaving my sorceress standing there in a bit of a precarious position. Into the combat phase, and my Dark Riders do extremely well. I lose 2, and he loses his 3 Doomfire Warlocks and another one of the Dark Riders, and this combat's a draw. In fact, no, if I remember right, I won this combat by 1. So he had to charge, the banner, and 2 kills. I had 4 kills and a banner, so I won this combat by 1. Yep. And I get no complaints about that. A unit of Doomfire Warlocks, so first points to me. No, sorry. No, he got you my unit of Doomfire Warlocks, so even on points there at the minute. But yeah, I was really pleased with the way that worked out. Just a stroke of luck. We go into my turn 2, and my Peg Rider comes up round the left, hoping he's hiding behind the wood, so can't really get shot at. And I'm thinking maybe if I charge those Witch Elves, I've got a 1-up armour save. I should be able to do enough damage on the charge, perhaps. With a stomp, I'm at toughness 4. He won't be able to do much damage back. I can hopefully get some points from them with just him. If I can kill enough after the second round of combat, he won't be steadfast, and I'll hopefully run them down. Over here, just start moving forward again. There's not too much else I can do. Both my big blocks have to get into combat. At this point, I am still sitting here looking at that unit of Corsairs, thinking they're going to move up again and shoot. And I don't fancy my chances because my Witch Elves have no armour and simply a 5-up ward, which isn't that reliable. My unit of unengaged Dark Riders comes round the back lines, and my Sorceress sneaks through to join them, just to make sure that she's got some form of protection. I don't get anything off in the magic phase again. I had been trying to Doombolt Malekith, but I hadn't been getting an awful lot of power dice, and unfortunately a level 5 sorcerer against a level 2, unless I get a resistible force, it's unlikely I'm going to get it off. We go into combat, and my Dark Riders kill off one of his Dark Riders. He does nothing back, and he breaks, and he gets away. Then we go into my turn, however, and I simply charge them down, and they run off the board. So we go into my opponent's turn 2, and Malekith flies over after having ran the Corsairs forward to look at my Witch Elves right in the face. He doesn't do much with magic, and he goes into his shooting phase again and goes straight for it again. Fires 60 shots at the Witch Elves. He rolls above average. I make next to no armour saves, and that's my casualties. 21 Witch Elves. So, in fact, I'm pretty sure it was more than that. Basically all 29 of my Witch Elves died. Yeah, it was horrible. I hadn't even considered doing that before with the Corsairs. It was a horrible, horrible thing to come up against, and I was just shaking my head. At this point, it's more the utility of Malekith that's causing me the problems rather than Malekith himself. But anyway, we play on. I'm not one to give up at this point anyway. And as you can see, this is what's left. I have a Cauldron of Blood, a Champion, and Hellbrawn. So that's that. It says we go into my turn 3. This is where I push the Dark Riders off the board. I redirect into his unit of Doomfire Warlocks over here just to try and move, and that's where I end up. My bolt throwers take a couple of pot shots and do absolutely nothing here as per usual, and that was the end of my turn, I believe. I do apologise, I'm missing a few pictures here. I was quite hungover for this game, and I was getting in a worse mood as the game went on. So this must be into my opponent's turn, whereas Frostheart Phoenix turns to face my Sorceress and the Dark Riders. Sorry, I think you did that last turn. On my turn, I charged the Witch Elves, I charged the Cauldron into the Corsairs, and I charged the Executioners into the Corsairs. Just to try and, I thought if I could win this combat and stop them from being steadfast, I may be able to break them and it would get me a load of points, because there's the BSB in there, there's the Banner of the World Dragon, there's 30 Corsairs, and I thought that would maybe help. I've got Hellbron sitting there who avoided the combat because she didn't want to be broken by the ranks in case my Executioners never made it in. We then go into my opponent's turn, and his Master on Pegasus charges my Master on Pegasus, who is engaged with the Witch Elves. You can see there on his turn I'd killed 3. So on here I'm hoping I can survive the attacks from his Master and do my damage against the Witch Elves and hopefully win the combat and break them both. Over here Malekith decides to join the fight and charges the side of my Cauldron, and the Frostheart Phoenix charges this unit of Dark Riders because I was stupid and in my turn I forgot to freaking move them. Yes, I was that hungover. I forgot to move my Sorceress and my unit of the Dark Riders away from the face of a Frostheart Phoenix. I know you're probably smirking to yourself right now, having a laugh and thinking what a douche that guy is. And you'd be right. So as you can imagine, that's not going to go well. That's just a picture of the Master getting in against my Master. He then gets off the Enfeebling Foe on my Executioners, making them Strength 5 instead of Strength 6 with the Great Weapons. Doesn't really matter too much at this point. And this is how it looks. He is completely dominating the game. There's not much I can really do at this point. I'm getting beat quite badly. I failed to break the Corsairs, so that wasn't in my favour. Over here, yep, the Frostheart Phoenix just goes to work on the Dark Riders, so I've got one of those left, and my Sorceress. They break, they flee, and the Frostheart Phoenix catches them. So that's another 400 odd points to my opponent. Yeah, it's not going well this game. And this combat, I kill 0 Witch Elves. I flub my attacks. I think I roll 3 1s or 2 1s and a 2 when rolling a hit. Obviously I don't get my rerolls. And he comes in, does 1 wound with multiple wounds, and sorry, does 2 wounds with multiple wounds and just kills me outright. Yeah, it really was one of those games. And over here we have Malekith going to work. He kills off the Cauldron of Blood. The Executioners break and flee. They're caught, and the Corsairs overrun into Marathi. Yeah, sorry, not Marathi, Hellbron. So yeah, just nothing's really gone my way this game. On to my next turn. I figure I may be able to pull something back here, make it a little less embarrassing of a thing. If I can cast a fully powered Doombolt and get a few wounds off Malekith. I think it's unlikely I'm going to kill him, but 4d6, and if I can irresistible force it and maybe get some strength 1 hits, 1 5s to wound with the Doombolt, 6s to wound with the strength 1, I may get a few wounds through. This is the combat with the Corsairs on Hellbron. I kill a few and then get completely wiped out in return. He casts a Doom. Before that, sorry, he had casted a Doombolt on my Dark Riders up here, killing off 4 of them, sorry. We went into turn, can't even remember now if this is turn 4 or 5. As I've forgotten an awful lot of pictures. He's just consolidating everything. He's boxed me up. Those executioners are actually dead at the side of the table there. It's just my dead pile's so big it's pulled across. I go with one last ditch effort for a doom bolt, which doesn't work. And this is how the game ends. I have a unit of Doomfire Warlocks left and one Witch Elf champion, so I saved the points from Witch Elves. But yeah, I lost this battle fairly convincingly. It was a 20-0 victory to Lee. So from table 2 he goes to table 1 and he then goes on to win the tournament. So I don't feel so bad about that one. I'm sorry this battle report's not been the greatest. I did forget a lot of the pictures between the hangover and the game in general. I was concentrating quite profusely trying to figure out a way around it. But the dice weren't with me. MALEKITH was against me. And that was game 4. Yeah, so that's... Unfortunately, I didn't get much pictures of the last game, so that's going to be the last one from the Falkirk free-for-all. I dropped down to table 8 on this one. I think I was sitting about 15th or 16th. And unfortunately, the way the game was, the tournament was played, there was a few duplicate opponents in this one. So my 5th game came up against David Reed again, who you may remember was my last opponent as well. And it was his Dwarf Gunline. It was basically me running across the board at him again, trying to get to his back lines and do some damage and get some points. However, at the top of turn 1, he shot off one of my bolt throwers with a cannon. My executioners failed a panic test and fled. So I was then on the back foot. So from turn 1, I was basically running up the board. By the time I reached him, I had absolutely nothing left. And my game 5 was a 20-0 loss again. And I think I finished overall about 24th. I'd need to go and check, maybe 24th or 26th. Not 100%, as I said, but day 2 was a disaster. However, day 1 was fun. Overall, it was an absolutely fantastic weekend. Met a few guys, had a few drinks, had my ups in day 1, my downs in day 2, and that was it for the Falkirk free-for-all. 24th position, not too bad for only my 2nd ever tournament. I was quite pleased I was finished so high in day 1. Just couldn't stay up there against the MALEKITH list and another Dwarven Gunline. I'd be happy if I never saw another Dwarven Gunline again. But thanks for listening to me ramble on here. And my next battle report, I think, will be up within the next few days. I've got a week off work that I need to get some painting done. And I've got a game against the Ogres and a game against Lizardmen to get through. So I'll see you on those ones. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.